going on, everybody?
We're back. What episode number is this, Stephen?
Well, it's episode 16. We've had some other episodes for the specials come through. The 1K subscriber was our last one, and then we had Ryan from Aerovec and then Edwards. So does that make that 19 technical episodes, or is my math off? 16, 19. Anyway.
This is number 16 traditional, and that's all that matters. We're glad to be back. We're out here, and we're back with brand new format, are we not?
Yeah. So as we talked about in that 1K subscriber episode celebration, just trying to kind of increase the quality over quantity, but more so just kind of make these episodes a little bit easier to follow. Hoping to get a good splash of this going for this episode 16. But yeah, man, it has been a minute since we were doing our traditional podcast Elrond, so it's good to be back. It's good to see you, Alec, and for everybody listening in, welcome to the show.
Yeah, welcome everyone. It's good to see you as well, Stephen. How have things been, bro?
They have been pretty good. I mean, gosh, I think ever since the last, episode 15 of Podcast Elrond, as far as I'm concerned, I wouldn't say any more true capitulation, no real blood on the streets. The markets have really just been cruising pretty darn sideways, I'd say.
Yeah, I would definitely call this sideways, especially last week. I don't want to get too much into the markets right now, but watching Bitcoin hit up to 20 and just going right back down to 19, everything's staying in that real tight channel, and Elrond's not to be excluded out of there.
Yeah, you're right though. I specifically said no market discussion too early on, and I literally broke that. So that was my bad. But yeah, so going along with organization of everything, making it easier to follow along. So today I will be bringing two topics to the conversation. I'll be talking about kind of passive income from a higher level and a few specific things I'll be covering, and I'll also be talking about the Elrond initiative, which is something that I kind of started. So looking forward to getting into those things. What have you got for us today, Alec?
Yeah, so today I bring to the table, I'm going to be talking about the new INSPIRE.art that the Elrond team recently released on September 2nd. And then I will also be talking about the Elrond and Opera integration, which I think is pretty cool, and I hope you guys will think so as well.
Yeah, I'm excited to get into that conversation about the integration with Opera. That I was pretty excited to see that, but we'll save the conversation kind of for later. But moving on here, let the people know, Alec. It's been a minute. I could maybe guess what you're doing with your portfolio, but give the people a rundown, like Elrond ecosystem specific. But feel free to include more stuff about your real estate portfolio, stuff that I'll just open it up. What's your updated investment portfolio looking like?
Okay, so crypto-wise, nothing has changed, guys. I haven't sold a single Elrond. I continue to stake. I continue to gather those rewards, and I'm putting them right back into the ecosystem. As I always say, I truly believe things are going to go back up, and I'm really excited to see what kind of passive income I'm earning when that happens. But as far as more traditional savings, me and my wife, we've been shifting our focus to trying to build diversify our portfolio. I can't be all into crypto, and I'd like to have other ways of making income. And so we hope within the next year and a half that we're going to purchase a investment property that we'll use for rental income. And so we started saving for that, and I'd say that's going pretty well, man. We have a traditional savings account. I would like to look into ways that aren't super risky, but also could make me more money than a traditional savings account, but I've yet to stumble across anything. But that's about it for me, man. Nothing much has changed, but just kind of keeping on that steady course. And
sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
Before you throw it over to me. So you mentioned staking on Elrond. You're still in the Elrond MEX liquidity pool? Are you farming? Are you reinvesting? Are you staking traditional Elrond?
Everything is traditionally staked. I have everything staked on my Maiar app. I'm using 3 different staking agencies. Everything's sitting at about 10% APR.
So are you out of Maiar DEX?
I am not completely out of Maiar DEX. I continue to
Okay.
hold my mechs in there. I still make money off of my mechs. I don't check it as often as I used to because I like to go and check it every couple of days and see a bigger number. It just makes me feel good.
For
You know
sure.
what I mean?
I feel that.
Yeah, but with my mechs, I don't even sell any of that anymore. I used to be on a thing where I was just kind of, going through it and trading it for e-gold and trying to get more e-gold. But now I'm just kind of chilling, man. I don't know. I'm waiting for some new wins.
Yeah, yeah. There are definitely wins on the horizon. I mean, I don't know if you can say that because wins are, you don't see them until they're there, but maybe there's a better metaphor. But yeah, that's super exciting to hear about you and your spouse kind of putting some more effort, some more energy into expanding those ways of making passive income. And now you're doing some renovations and some work into your own house, which...
Yes.
is your home and has a lot of value for that roof over the head. So maybe one day that will become a profitable venture specifically. But yeah, looking forward to hearing and watching the journey for you as you and your wife go through this investment portfolio or specifically just with like real estate. I bet you're pretty excited about that too. Yeah.
Yeah, man, this is something we have both been thinking about doing for a long time, and I truly believe once we build enough of a portfolio, and let me just say about that, I'm not trying to be a shitty landlord. I'm trying to like have nice properties that people seek out to live in and not complain to live in. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just see that as one day becoming a really good passive income for both of us in our future, and maybe one day our kids could hopefully benefit off of that as well. Sure. But yeah, man, we're both super excited, and we just can't wait to get that journey started. And you mentioned, we continue to improve the own roof over our own head, and we just try to make, every day that I come home, I want to feel good kind of thing.
For sure.
But what's going on with you, Stephen? Anything new, man? I know I saw you establish a new $1 billion oh shit, that'd be crazy.
Oh shit, $1 billion, yeah.
A billion mechs position on Twitter.
Yeah. So that is mainly because I like the fact that meta bonding locks the lock mechs, locked mechs is locked in meta bonding. And I like that because if you've been following along the journey, I know, Alec, you're aware that I did get rid of all of my lock mechs back in about January or February when the exchange rate was 1 million to 1 Elrond or Eagled, sorry.
Great trade, gotta say.
Yeah, so that was pretty great. I'm glad that I pulled the trigger on that. But slowly but surely, I kind of got back into lock mechs because I do believe in the MEX token. I believe in the future of the Maiar DEX, the Maiar exchange. So it was just a matter of time before I kind of built my position back into Maiar exchange through the MEX token. So yeah, recently I did finalize a 1 billion lock MEX position, and I've got it staked on Maiar DEX through meta bonding, and that earns me passive positions in I think 7 different companies that are building on Elrond Network. Though to be honest, like I'm swapping those for Elrond. A lot of people are like, oh, why are you doing that? Like if you could just like buy these individually, maybe the MEX farm is more profitable. But really the emphasis for me is like I don't want to be able to easily get those lock mechs out and swap them on lock mechs exchange. So the 72-hour period of locking that lock mechs helps me a little bit just with like, sticking with that conviction and trying to keep a position in mechs. But I will say, though, that I am looking forward to X Day. So in case you're maybe new to Elrond or the channel, X Day is Elrond's very first conference that they will be doing, and it sounds like it's going to be an annual thing. It's happening in Paris, and update on that, it was originally just going to be one day, November 3rd, but then they moved it to 3rd and 4th, and now they've confirmed that it will be a 3-day conference. So tickets have been on sale now for I think maybe 2 days finally, though we still don't really have too much information on it with regard to who's going to be speaking and what the specific topics will be. But as of this morning, I noticed that the highest tier, the VIP tickets, have sold out. So there are now only the middle tier and the lowest tier, which is just really cool to see that there's enough interest in these tickets that they're selling out after just a couple days. So with that being said, I initially was staking some eagled in the Maiar application, but I have initiated an on bond. I don't get me wrong. I love the idea of staking, and it's good to stake. So keep on keeping on. But I just want to. I want to put that capital to where it might have a little bit more use, and I think that lends to the Maiar DEX. Staking I think will be solid, and I may pull out some and put it back into staking just to keep that solid staking going. But I'm really excited for X Day. I am excited for things that I've seen brewing. So I'm gonna put some money back into Maiar DEX. I think that staking eagled I kind of did after the Maiar DEX had its smart contract exploit kind of happen, and I just wanted to put it in a safer spot. So with XA on the horizon, I think I'm feeling a little bit towards putting some more money into the DEX. So yeah, I've still got my portfolio kind of mixed all around, and I don't want to get going on this for too long. I want to move on to the next topic. But yeah, still pretty much fully allocated in the Elrond ecosystem. I could say more, but I think some of the other points I want to hit might come up in conversation later. So I'll leave it at that.
Quick questions for you. With this unstaking or unbonding and putting it back into the Maiar DEX, how do you plan to put it back into the DEX? Are you planning on MEX eagled liquidity pair, or what liquidity token do you plan to pour that back into?
That's a great question. Right now, the majority of my portfolio is in meta staking. U-Trust liquidity provider token, which gives that 3x income stream, which is super cool. But I'll be honest, man, like I still need to think about it, which is why I like that 10-day unbond period to kind of really figure out where it's going to fit. But I'm really thinking about when, I exchanged LockMex for Eagle at a really great rate. And at this point, going the opposite direction doesn't sound like a horrible idea for me. Putting in one eagled and getting over 3 million LockMex in return. It's like, if I really feel compelled about the future of Maiar DEX, and I feel excited about what X Day is going to bring, I think the biggest hesitancy is this big question mark of what is going to happen. Yeah, X Day for sure, but what is going to happen as these LockMex unlock schedules start to happen as soon as we hit that year mark for Maiar DEX. So I'm feeling a little bit nervous about if I want to kind of ape into LockMex and use that LockMex exchange to basically multiply my dollar investment by 3. I really feel like the Maiar DEX is going to really get an awesome boost. And I think that definitely a portion of that Elrond Eagle that I have unbonded. Once it unbonds, I think I will be swapping some. I know for sure I will be swapping a percentage of it for that LockMex through LockMex Exchange, and I think I'll probably just put it in the into the MEX liquidity provider pool. To me, that seems like a pretty good use of funds to get that multiplier, and then pair it with Eagle. It's a little bit risky because of those unlock schedules, but like X Day, I believe that Elrond, fingers crossed that Elrond's really going to make the most of it and announce some really cool stuff. On top of that, if Bitcoin, big dog Bitcoin can turn around and start to show growth versus this uncertainty, man, like nobody's going to be selling. Like these selling will definitely come to a slowdown altogether. So obviously, no crystal ball. We don't know what the future will really bring. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking I'll do with that unbonded Eagle as soon as it hits my wallet.
Cool, man. Well, I wish you the best of luck, and I'm definitely just as excited as you are about X Day, and I really hope they do drop some world shattering or, ecosystem shattering news that really sends stuff into an upward spiral. I would love to see that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So yeah, kind of moving away from that and more into kind of looking at the market in specific, given that you're a little bit more diversified with your real estate position and everything. Have there been any, and just in like your daily life, Alec, have there been any traditional market kind of things that you've been keeping your finger on the pulse with? Any traditional markets, any discussion you want to have there?
Yeah, so there actually are a couple important things that I think everyone should know, especially in terms of the U.S. market. So what used to be traditionally known as the measurement for measuring whether or not we're in a recession was two negative growth or 2 quarters of negative GDP growth. So the Commerce Department just showed that the economy shrank at an annualized rate at 0.6%. So that is 2 quarters of negative growth for the U.S. market, which would traditionally say we're in a recession. If you look at jobless claims, though, jobless claims are still very low. So we don't have like people hurting for jobs yet. Everything is really expensive. So that's kind of like a weird dynamic that you have going on in the markets too. Wow. And the traditional markets as a whole continue to take a plummet. So earlier in the week, things were looking green, and then Thursday, it just continued the pattern of the downtrend that we're currently seeing, unfortunately. Also, experts are predicting that gas this winter, if you use gas to heat your house, is going to be 17.2% more expensive than the previous year. That
seems significant.
It is significant. And if you were to look back before the pandemic, those prices are up by 42%. So in total, there's a 42% increase in what gas prices were before the pandemic. And so, inflation's bad. People say we're not technically in a recession yet, but some of the indicators do show that maybe we are heading in that direction. And so maybe this could be a true test of Bitcoin and being that inflation hedge. So
that's what I'm feeling.
Yeah, I've been seeing that on Twitter too. People are calling on the Fed to take a more aggressive stance on inflation and keep hiking up interest rates. So interest rates are already pretty high. They're at 2008 levels, which doesn't mean we're entering a 2008 market, which was pretty shitty for a lot of people. But also home sales are down as well by, I believe, 2%. So that's just kind of your general overview of the market and currently what's happening. TLDR, things aren't looking great.
Yeah. That's a great little overview, Alec. Thank you for that.
Yeah, of course, dude. Happy to give it. What's happening new in the crypto world, Stephen? Do you have anything for us?
Yeah, I think that's that was a great little segue you made about this idea of cryptocurrency being this inflation hedge, because looking at the S&P 500, it looks a little bit intimidating. Like in between maybe June and mid-August, there was kind of a rally in the S&P 500, but ever since then we're kind of at the lowest point we've seen since December 2020, and that's as we kind of dig down a little bit lower, we are retesting the top that we kind of had just before the market plummeted from COVID-19. So from my understanding and studies of technical analysis, whenever there's kind of a market top that retraces and then it goes on to break that top and go on to higher highs, that first top should that should equate to market support. So at this point, the way things are looking is that pretty much ever since now, looking back towards the COVID-19 pandemic, pretty much all those gains are being erased. So that's, and then there's a bigger conversation we could have about that, because whenever the market was so low, all of these people in the know, people in Congress and everything, like they knew about these lockdowns, they sold positions, they bought back lower, and like I mean, I don't know the data, but it's like, damn, like all of this money that's poured into the markets, this is maybe an unfair statement to make, but it's like, damn, like, can you say exit liquidity? Like, there's some things going on that make me nervous. But it is interesting to note, people say that, the traditional markets are still correlated with cryptocurrency. But if you look at the numbers, and this is going to look bad for cryptocurrency, but the S&P 500 is down 25% from January of this year, whereas, the Bitcoin top from last November 2021 to now is down 70%. So yes, the direction has been the same, but I would say the true power, the true strength for Bitcoin has been uncorrelated. I mean, like, you can't say that, it's one is down 25%, the other is down 70%. Like, if we were looking at two cryptos, we would be like, oh, that one that's down 25%, like, man, that doesn't seem to be correlated with the broad market being down 70%. So I think that's a huge point to note, because at this point, looking at, considering what you just mentioned, Alec, and how the highs of the coronavirus have been kind of washed away, it leads me to question, is there going to be a much heavier recession that the market, that as represented by the S&P 500, like, is that really, really seriously going to start breaking down into the -30, -40, -50, like something serious? And at that point, it's like, well, Bitcoin is already down 70%. And who is still in the Bitcoin market, cryptocurrency market these days? Like, people have left. People have ran away. People are lost interest as quickly as in 2017, when Bitcoin first hit 20K. Like, so many people just dipped out and left that before the bear market got worse. And it's like, man, I've said it for a little bit now that there are more people interested in the cryptocurrency market than ever before. Here we are sitting at -70%. We've been month after month of bearish negative sentiment, people fudding left and right, calling for, retrace down to $10,000 for Bitcoin. And, I think a previous version of myself would kind of egg on more about this. Oh, it's going to rally anytime soon. It'll happen when it happens. But altogether, man, like, I think the fact that we haven't really seen any much more capitulatory price action since mid-June, we're looking at a solid 100 days of sideways movement. And at that point, that really just gives the market a chance to, we're gonna have a rally. Oh, we're gonna capitulate. And then after all this time, it's like, all right, nobody really has any idea what's going on. And I think the fact that Bitcoin has been just like settling around this 18,000 to 21,000 range, it's like, whenever those lows are being tested, like, that's the time for the price to break. Like, that's the time for capitulation. But just a couple weeks ago, or last week on September 21st, we had one more low in Bitcoin that tested $18,000. And from there, it's moved up, and it's approaching back towards 20K. So, we will see what happens. But from my time in the crypto sphere and looking at Bitcoin and everything, like, I don't know, man, I'm getting more and more confident. Obviously, everybody protect your assets and, pull that trigger when you feel like it's the right time to do it. But the Bitcoin cryptocurrency market is looking healthy, despite being down 70%. But then moving more specifically into Elrond, the Elrond ecosystem, and eGold, X day just around the corner. The teams keep working. It's clear that this bear market is not wiping anybody away from this space. People who are here to build now couldn't really care less about price. I think that's very much what's the opposite of institutional? Just
laissez-faire.
Well, institutional investors versus just like
retail.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, retail maybe is going to be worried about price, and rightly so. But altogether, I think the people that are here to build are just pushing on, and they couldn't care less about price. So traditional seems a little. I mean, only time will tell. But I'm gonna go ahead and beat the crypto bull and say that traditional seems a little bit uncertain, but crypto could be much healthier than people think, despite being down 70%.
I really hope that's the case. I don't know if I feel that kind of sentiment, but I'm definitely interested to see what the future is going to hold for both markets, because everything does feel as though it's pretty uncertain, and I'm not sure which direction things are going to go, especially right now. I kind of feel like the traditional market is heading towards the dumps, but for crypto, it does feel like, I don't know, it's kind of either do or die, fight or flight. We'll see what happens. And I think hopefully with X Day coming around, I hope that changes some things for the Elrond ecosystem, and I hope the overall crypto ecosystem can follow suit.
Yeah, man. Cool. So with regard to like the Elrond ecosystem, from your perspective, have there been any things that have caught your eye? And I'm still kind of curious. I know, Alec, you've mentioned that you're looking forward to hopefully like MEX 2.0 economics being announced at X Day. But yeah, I'm curious what things have caught your eye, if any, regarding specifically the Elrond ecosystem, NFTs, X Day, like anything that from a kind of high level you're keeping tabs on?
Well, in terms of high level, I haven't been really watching anything NFT wise. I've been kind of like really hands off with the NFT game. But I did see something on Twitter today. I saw the conversation begin again about liquid staking. I don't know why the conversation was happening on Twitter, but people were like bringing it up as if they're expecting it to be coming soon. So that's something I've always looked forward to, being able to stake your Elrond with the provider, and then you're provided a tokenized version of your Elrond that then you can go use within the ecosystem as a one-to-one pair. So that's something I've always been excited about. And as you mentioned, the MEX ecosystem, if you go and watch the X Day announcement videos, there's a piece that says new economics. I'm like,
oh, really?
Yeah, it specifically, explicitly says new economics, like as if that's one of the things that's coming at X Day. So there's
they've got to like literally like it's a 3-day conference, so it sounds like there's a lot to pack in. But can you imagine day 3 ends and literally like they just don't talk? Like there's absolutely no freaking way that the team does not talk about MEX 2.0.
God, I really hope they do, because
there's no way.
It's been dragged on for so damn long. It's about time we hear about it. And speaking of Stephen, I don't think I got to hear, what level are you at for X Day? Are you going to be going to the events to watch them in person, or are you just going to be in the lounge watching the live streams, or what tier did you get?
Yeah, man. You could probably guess. I went for VIP.
I knew it. Nice, dude. You're gonna have to tell me how the dinner is and all that stuff, dude. I'm really excited to see your story, and hopefully you keep it updated.
Yeah. I mean, initially I was like, oh, I want to try to get like some sort of camera to wear like on my person, so that I could kind of just like, take it all in and share all of the pieces. But yeah, dude, it's like this is the first time I'll be in Paris, and I feel like the first Elrond conference, it warrants being a VIP. Not to say that I'm a VIP, but buying the VIP ticket. So there'll be like a private VIP party and a VIP dinner. And as I was filling out the information for the tickets as I was buying them, they also asked me for my Elrond address, my ERD address, and they said that there will be an NFT sent after the event. So whether it's just like a fun little momentum or memento, whatever that is, or maybe, I couldn't imagine that it goes deeper than that, but imagine if there is some true utility more than just like, yippee, like here's a fun like piece that indicated that you were a VIP. It's like, that'd be pretty freaking cool if they're like, hey, thanks for being a VIP here. like this is an NFT and this is what it will do for you. Like I'm not expecting that, but man, wouldn't that be pretty cool if this NFT, like imagine if it provides utility and people are able to sell it on third party. It's like, damn, like this $1,200 I paid for the VIP, it's like, what if it like pays for itself, because like I can sell this NFT for like 3, 4, 5x if there is some sort of utility provided. Like that's pure speculation, but that'd be pretty cool.
That would be cool, but what I'm definitely more interested in as someone who has put on conferences before is how the Elrond team structures this, how they keep the people excited, how they deliver their keynotes, how they just, structure the flow of the day, because man, it seems like they're doing it so damn fast. And I know for who I work for, we like take a whole year to plan a conference. Yeah. So I'm sure that things are in the works, and I'm very excited to hear from you and hear about your experience, dude.
Yeah, those are really good points you make there. Just, these are important topics with regards specifically, like, these keynotes. How are they going to keep people involved? How are they going to organize it? So yeah, you bet that you'll be in the know hearing from me about all this stuff. But yeah, altogether, I think it's just going to be a really, really high energy event. I know, a lot of people that I kind of chit-chat and I'm connected with online are, they've also bought the VIP tickets, so it's good to know that I'm not just going to be like a little fish among like all of these big players. Like there's going to be some pretty big names. I actually, come to think of it, there was, for the first time, we now know that the minister of Romania, the Romanian minister, is going to be at X Day. So their name is Sebastian Berduja. I might be mispronouncing, but Benjamin recently tweeted that him shaking a hand with this guy and said, honored to announce that he will be joining us in X Day. And on top of that, Binance has also announced that they're expanding their offices into Romania. In addition to that, there's been a lot of energy because people are noticing that Binance now has, along with all the nodes that they're contributing to Elrond Network, they have over 1 million e-gold staked. So some of this is provided through people staking their e-gold with Binance, but Binance is increasing their physical stake in Elrond as well, on top of all the nodes that they're already providing. And then also too, there was a photo of Binance with the same exact individual, the Romanian Minister of Research. So this Sebastian Berduja guy was also seen a couple weeks ago shaking hands with CZ from Binance. So, we're all free to connect the dots and everything, but I think without being too speculative, aside from the relationship that Elrond has already established with Binance and vice versa, it seems like there's energy pointing towards Romania. And that's all. I'll leave it at that for sake of avoiding any too specific like speculation. But now is a great time to get into the market. So I think that if you're here now, you're at a good spot. And if you're cruising, feel free to keep cruising, but adding to your position whenever the price is under $50, it's something to keep in mind, though. Who's to say? Markets are uncertain, but I think there's some exciting stuff brewing.
Yeah, man. There's definitely been a lot of exciting, it seems like, bigger picture type things happening. So super exciting, and I hope some of these dots do connect and create the bigger picture that we all hope for.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, great, man. This is a solid conversation so far. You want to go ahead and start getting into those topics that we talked about at the intro?
Yeah, let's do it, man. Do you want to start off or me?
I can go ahead and start us off and go from there.
Let's do it.
Sweet. So yeah, the topic that I really wanted to bring to the conversation today was really just emphasizing the passive income opportunities that are available on or through the Elrond ecosystem, specifically on Maiar Exchange. So I wanted to bring this into the conversation just to make sure that people understand kind of what opportunities are out there, because specifically when it comes to this meta staking, which I've mentioned a time or two before, there are two different forms of meta staking. One of them is really just staking tokens, but the other one you can stake LP tokens, and that's the one that I've been kind of referring to specifically. So when it comes to staking and passive income on Elrond, we all know that the Elrond Network provides staking through Maiar, or through the Maiar app. So now that we have a new year since the Elrond mainnet has launched, the APY is looking to be closer to about 10% APY. So that's a great opportunity to earn more e-gold on top of your e-gold. But there are two main ways that I think the Maiar DEX really kind of flexes when it comes to more passive income. And that's really, it's a trickier conversation because it does involve earning locked MEX. And we all know that that's a little bit, we aren't too sure about what's going to come from that locked MEX token and everything. So it's something to note, though, that for now, all these LP farms, so LP farms mean that you're providing a 1-to-1 ratio of Elrond and whatever token you have here is, MEX, RIDE, Ithium, and so forth. So whenever you're providing liquidity, this allows people to swap in between the tokens. And by doing so, you will earn a proportion of every trade, which is added to the overall amount of liquidity in that pool. So that's the first stream of income is through liquidity providing, you earn off of every trade. So secondly, after you provide liquidity in this tab here, you can see all of the pools, except there are only a certain amount which will actually allow you to earn a second stream of income, which is by staking the LP tokens. So whenever you stake, you can either earn MEX, which is liquid and can be swapped to e-gold immediately, or you can earn locked MEX, which, as we know, is the MEX token, which will unlock on a schedule. So just in this regular MEX e-gold pool, you can earn 22% on MEX or 95% on locked MEX. And I mentioned this a little bit earlier with the fact that I'm unbonding some e-gold is, man, like there are some really great opportunities to earn. Places like UTK and Ithium are offering, 33% of MEX. So it's maybe a little bit riskier because you're a liquidity provider and you don't have this, locked stake that can't be transferred between wallets. But man, like I have a chunk of e-gold that's really earning me 8 to 10, maybe 11% APY. But the DEX is offering, a portion of every amount, every swap between the token. In addition to staking these tokens, gives you, an added income on that. And then a third income stream is through meta staking. So I mentioned that I have UTK that I'm meta staking. So what does that mean? It means that first I came into the liquidity tab, I added UTK e-gold, I then staked that onto the MEX farm here, and then after you do that, then you go to meta staking, and then now, as it says up here, you can stake LP tokens to earn more of the same token as reward. So to me, I find and see a lot of promise in the future of UTrust having been acquired by Elrond, and I'm really excited to continue to reaping the benefits off of earning a proportion of every trade, earning locked MEX through the staking the LP, and then earning more UTK on top of that. I also have some Ithium and I think some RIDE, and then ZPay also. They have their own platform. They'll be releasing their own DEX on ZPay staking. And recently they dropped their upgrade for their Zoidster NFTs, which my shopping pool now earns 18%, which the base was originally 15% APY, but I have 2 Zoidsters staked that increases my earnings by 3%. So right now you can earn a max APR of 25% using ZPay, staking it on meta staking. But people have done the math in this figure because it says max here, a little bit deceptive because it sounds like it's closer to about 12%. So I've got mine over there on ZPay, and I've got some threads on Twitter that allowed me to kind of share, or rather, I've got some threads that explain that Zoidster NFT and kind of what is going on there. So I think the NFTs that are being utilized in cool ways, like ZPay using the Zoidsters to bolster the value that can be earned through these shopping pools, is really cool. And like I said, I created a thread on Twitter that talks about the ZPay Zoidsters and how to kind of get going with those, which I use INSPIRE.art to do so. Looking up a Zoidster that I want and everything. But yeah, I'll go ahead and stop it with that. I'm not sure how long that little presentation was there. A lot more I could talk about for sure. But yeah, I'll pass it over to you if you're ready to give us a look at the INSPIRE.art, Alec.
Yeah, first off, I just want to say I appreciate you sharing that, Stephen. I think a lot of people need to realize how powerful the Maiar DEX ecosystem is, and just the Elrond ecosystem in general. There's many ways to make your money work for you in the world, and the Maiar DEX offers you many of those options. And it's great that you could diversify within this platform, and as time goes on, the methods of diversification will just continue to increase, and I think that's something we all can look forward to.
Yeah, man.
So moving on to INSPIRE.art, let me share my screen here. Recently, September 2nd, Benjamin made a tweet, and it was about releasing the INSPIRE.art platform. So what we all thought was gonna originally happen with Elrond and NFTs, we thought the Elrond team was gonna release a Elrond NFT marketplace, but I don't know if this is what they considered to be that marketplace we were looking for, but INSPIRE.art is what we have, and it's more of an aggregate than a marketplace. And I know there was some butthurt about that on Twitter.
Yeah.
But as I did some research into INSPIRE.art, I don't think there's really reason to have butthurt. So INSPIRE.art is a place where all of the NFT marketplaces within the Elrond ecosystem aggregate to one website, which is really designed to push adoption in the NFT space and just adoption of Elrond in general. So when you go to the INSPIRE.art homepage, this is what you see. You see a collection of different NFT projects on the Elrond ecosystem, and they highlight different ones every day. And as you scroll down, this is what the INSPIRE.art is meant to do. You're meant to create, explore, and collect. So you can't actually purchase NFTs from the INSPIRE.art, but what you can do is go see what's hot and what's trending right now. So let's say you wanted to buy Elrond Punks, bam, it sends you directly to Frame It, and that's one of the marketplaces that is popular in the Elrond ecosystem. Something though that they're also trying to do with INSPIRE.art that was recently done with Aquaverse, I believe, and also Elrond Apes was the first people to have it happen. If you go to nft.elrondapes.com, this is actually their own marketplace built off of the INSPIRE.art platform.
Oh, really?
So, yes. So there's this INSPIRE.art is actually set up for many NFTs to start doing this, and it's meant for businesses and other people that come onto the Elrond ecosystem to work off of INSPIRE.art and gain and create their own marketplace off of that. Because as you can see, there's a wallet connect option on here. And what I found interesting though, and I think this is something that needs to be worked on, is that I don't think these marketplaces are being used. As you go to the Elrond Apes NFT marketplace and you explore the collection, and you click on sale, there's no Elrond Apes on sale on the official Elrond Ape marketplace. But if you were to go to deadrare.io, you would see tons of Elrond Apes for sale. So I think that's something that maybe the Elrond Apes team, maybe Elrond in general, they need to speak on INSPIRE.art a little bit more and put it out there for the people to know that, hey, we have these dedicated marketplaces designed for your specific NFT for you to interact with. And I think that's something they're going to continue to do with a lot of these different NFT projects. And what that is known as is a meta space. And so the meta space can be very broad and general for many different projects that come along to the ecosystem. That's about all I have for INSPIRE.art. I think I've covered a decent amount of what they have, but really it's a place for the people to go explore and find new projects, and it's meant for increasing adoption.
Sick, man. Yeah, I know that some people were looking for a specific NFT marketplace. So whenever this came out, it seems like there was some confusion. But as with most things, the people who maybe it didn't hit the right way, they'll either dig more into it or they'll just kind of leave it to be. But I'm happy with it.
Yeah, I am too. And you know what? I will say maybe this was a smart move on the Elrond team's part, because what happened, think about hypothetically, what happens if maybe the Elrond team had released an NFT marketplace and it wasn't used? Because they were, I mean, they don't want to look like fools, so you might as well embrace what's already there. And the people are using it, so go where the people are. That's what I've always heard, and it feels like this was their attempt at doing that.
For sure. I see that if the Elrond Network created their in-house NFT marketplace, we're all trying to boost the ecosystem, but I feel like would be in this rat race with all the other NFT marketplaces that are getting these new features, new interfaces, etc. But by opening this whole new path of, we're an aggregator, so we're in a way helping out all of these other NFT marketplaces. And also too, it's going to be, as you mentioned, this meta space, or however you said it there. It's like this is going to be a unique place. And I remember in the 1K subscriber episode, I did mention that they had me at the name. Being an artist, I really appreciate just the domain being INSPIRE.art. So yes, it's an aggregator. It's not a specific marketplace, but I really enjoy that they they're sparking, or they're setting their own trend through a new avenue, and that I think provides a lot of flexibility and room to breathe, rather than feeling like we have to compete with anybody else. So I'm for INSPIRE.art. I'm looking forward to it, and I bet you that they're going to talk a great deal about NFTs and the future of INSPIRE.art at X Day.
Yes, I'm sure they will, and I know they have an NFT museum at X Day.
Yeah, I saw that too.
So please get tons of video of that, because I can't wait to see what they built and what that's going to look like, dude.
Dude, yeah. And the location of X Day is in the previous stock exchange. I don't think it's being used in that way anymore. I forgot the name of it exactly, and I couldn't pronounce it. But go ahead.
If I remember correctly, that building is pretty close to the Arc de Triomphe in Paris. I don't know what it's called, but I think I've seen it before.
Palais Brongniart. I'm probably butchering it. But yeah, so the historical French stock exchange. And I think there was another thread somebody talked about, like, think about what message people or the Elrond team is sending by having it at this spot. So yeah, this excitement for me is very high for X Day.
As it should be, dude. And speaking of excitement, I've been seeing a lot of cool stuff about your Elrond initiative, Stephen. Can you go ahead and give us a little taste about what that's about, what you're trying to do, and why should people join your project?
Yeah, man. Thanks for that segue there. Elrond Initiative is something that I started a couple days ago, maybe closer to 2 weeks. But really, the whole concept, the whole idea of Elrond Initiative was actually. I'm sorry, those are the documents there. I'm trying to move the Zoom tab away so I can select. So at some point, I just noticed that Benjamin had tweeted this right here, which he's talking about just the progress of the team. This was on July 4th, and I missed it whenever he tweeted this, but I saw this, and it's like, for me, it's really great to hear directly from Benjamin, what can we do to help? Because I'm always kind of trying to help others, but at the same time, trying to figure out what the team really needs. So whenever I saw this tweet, I almost started something like super quickly and more really just gave it and created like a giveaway. Just, do one of these things and, do it in the next week and I'll give you some Elrond or something or some e-gold. But I was like, no, like it says specifically raise awareness in smart ways about Elrond Mex and Elrond DeFi. So I kind of just, took kind of initiative in a way. And I just created this whole team of initiates is what we're called. And I'm pretty excited to share what I've got going. What is the Elrond Initiative? It's based off of just this idea to integrate together, illuminate Elrond as, what I think is an elite layer 1, and then ignite, expanding the initiative. So getting more team members to come along and make contributions is what these are called. Season 1 will take place until X Day. So it will the season 1 will end on X Day. But it's not going to end at that time. It'll just be the end of season 1. But yeah, so the entity token is what we will earn through these contributions, and then you can exchange entity for e-gold. So the treasury itself is $10,000, and each contribution you make, you earn roughly 3. It's exactly pi. You earn 3.14 entity tokens. And what is a contribution? It's one of these things. It's based off of this tweet. This is a short list, but I expanded it to include some more ideas of, a single contribution is defined as creating a Twitter thread that raises awareness about Elrond Network. So yeah, the Elrond Initiative is really just based off of the idea to integrate together, illuminate Elrond Network as an elite L1, and then ignite, expanding the initiative. So it was based off of this tweet from Benjamin Minku for a short list, but I expanded it to all of these different things, like what is DeFi, what is farming, what is the e-gold initiative or Elrond Initiative, projects building on Elrond Network. So this documentation is all pinned in the bio of the Twitter. In addition to that, part of the contribution process to submit, you will post it to this Reddit page. So in Era 1, the first 10 days, we were able to get over 30 different contributions. Nice. And yeah, it's cool. You can sort by, the top ones and, stuff that's really kind of rising to the top to see what people are most interested in learning about. But yeah, so based off of this, it was really just this idea of, how can we help? Like, what can we do to help? And instead of just doing some, kind of measly giveaway, I created my own ESDT called Entity. And for every contribution you make, you earn a portion of Entity. And as the number, so the part that's expands the team is the ignition or igniting. So as the number of initiates grows, grows, the treasury unlocks value. So right now it's $10,000 as the treasury, but I didn't want this to be any sort of money grab or anything like that. So I went ahead and created it as an unlock schedule. So the price of Entity will start low, but over time, I anticipate this to continue for months and even years if everything really starts to avalanche. And with that, we have a new partner. I announced yesterday the On-Chain Smokers is the first partner that reached out a hand to Elrond Initiative, and that's pretty exciting. There's a whole article that I wrote up about what On-Chain Smokers is doing, in addition to an interview I had with their 2 of 3 co-founders, Lucas and Willem. So much more I could say about that. But yeah, everybody go ahead and check out Elrond Initiative. Don't feel intimidated by creating a contribution. Do your best, and we as a team will try to improve all of the contributions that each other makes, which again is just to kind of push through and help out the team while they're hopefully, we trust that they're busy working and everything. But yeah, if you're interested, the documentation is much more in depth, total of 9 pages. So I'll go ahead and end it with that. Go ahead and connect online. But yeah, and the Elrond Initiative is just a community of people who are interested in learning something and teaching it, and yeah, trying to just help out the team and earn Entity along the way. And as partnerships come along, you never know, like a new partner of Elrond Initiative has joined and they're offering this thing or that thing. So it's all just kind of this grassroots, good heart kind of mission to educate and adoption through education. But yeah, I'm excited to see that continue to grow and more people to join. But yeah, that's the Elrond Initiative.
That's really awesome to hear, man. I think even Benjamin would be impressed by this shit, bro. It's pretty dope. I think it's a great different way to inspire people to get out there and start spreading awareness about the Elrond ecosystem, because God knows we need it, especially here in America. Let's get that word out there, man. And that's awesome to hear, dude. Elrond Initiative, founder right here, Stephen Snodgrass.
Sure. Yeah, and the Reddit page, apparently a lot of people in the United States use Reddit. Mm-hmm. So it's mainly for governance, for people to upvote and downvote good or bad works. But I'm hoping that, as more traction and attention goes to that Reddit page, naturally people will just stumble upon it and want to dive deeper.
I think it was also a good strategic move instead of using Discord as well.
Yeah, Discord is, I have opinions about Discord, as we might know.
Yeah, that's why I had to say it.
But yeah, man, Elrond Initiative, join us and become an initiate. But yeah, man, moving right along here, we got Alec to share about the recent announcement Elrond will be integrating with the Opera browser. So let's get into that.
Yes. Elrond is going to be integrating with the Opera browser, as Stephen said. When I think of browsers, there's only like a couple of browsers that actually come to my mind. It's Google Chrome, Safari, Mozilla Firefox, and Opera. I actually used to be an Opera user, but I don't know why I moved away from it. I think it's because most of my stuff was on Google or Chrome, and it was easier for me to use. But I can testify that Opera is an awesome browser experience, and what's even cooler is that the Elrond ecosystem is going to be pairing with them. So what they're trying to do is it's going to be Elrond ESDT is going to be accessible by over 300 plus million users of the Opera ecosystem. So Opera actually has its own non-custodial wallet, and you'll be able to interact with a couple of other different wallets. So we are not the only blockchain that's going to be integrating with Opera, actually. There's actually a couple more that are going to be doing the same thing, Ethereum, Polygon, Bitcoin, and BNB. But you got to think, it's pretty awesome that we're one of those big names in there as well. Mm-hmm. So the aim is to increase adoption through this Opera integration. and users of Opera will be able to interact directly with Elrond standard digital tokens. That's really all they have come out. Oh, I'm sorry. You'll also be able to interact directly with the D apps on the Elrond ecosystem through the Opera browser. I'm not sure what this is going to look like exactly, but this seems like big news. There's only so many browsers in the world, and Opera is one of the bigger ones out there. So that's pretty exciting that the Elrond ecosystem has made this strategic partnership with such a big company. And I'm excited for how they're going to utilize this integration, and I'm definitely excited for how this is going to look. Big partnerships, big names, and I hope that kind of news continues to come out.
Yeah, dude. When I woke up and I saw that, Opera is a browser that I've used, I think, ever since I had like an iPod Touch in like high school or whatever. And I think it's just a major step for connecting new potential users to the right audience for continued growing adoption of eGold. It's like, I think it's fair to say that, the goal of these, Web3 layer ones is to become the Web 3.0 base layer of the internet. So like, the fact that Elrond eGold is going to be, it is into the Opera browser, this is just going to increase the user base and really just simplify the door to entry altogether. So I'm pretty excited. That was really exciting for me to see that announcement. And at the end of the day, it's one more way for Elrond to get out there, being paired along those bigger names, as you mentioned, those other chains that are integrated in Opera as well. So yeah, man, I think that's some big news. And we'll see what other people maybe take and run with that ability to connect via the Opera browser.
I think another piece that needs to be highlighted about Opera is that they're privacy focused and Web3 focused.
Yeah.
That's a big thing in the Web 3.0 industry. Privacy, data, all that stuff. And Opera is focused on that. They're actually one of the maybe few or only browsers that you can get a VPN extension that's ran by Opera directly in your browser. So that's definitely something cool.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for that presentation, Alec.
Yep.
Exciting to check that out. So yeah, like moving on to the kind of closing out the episode here, just taking a look here on the screen at kind of where we are kind of in the scheme of things. We talked about in the previous 1K subscriber celebration that Elrond did adjust their roadmap. So as you can see in front of you, I've kind of put a green star next to those things that we for sure have checked off of the list. We talked about how the Elrond Gamify could be Cantina Royale. I believe that a lot of people could be referring and talking about that liquid staking, specifically because what we're expecting for, or what we're expecting soon is this staking phase 4, which is set to happen in Q3, which as we can see is ending, within 24 hours. So not sure if we'll see any movement on that, but big stuff for Q4. We've got the Elrond X Day conference, merchant yield, which we know has to do with Utrust, Maiar app 2.0, which I believe will have a lot to do. There's been a lot of hints made that Utrust, UTK integration, and Maiar will kind of occur. And then that liquid staking has to do with the staking phase 4, and also this lending and synthetics. I think first must come staking phase 4, first must come liquid staking, so that this DeFi 2.0 can be integrated. But yeah, looking at this roadmap, is there anything that really kind of stands out to you? Any points that maybe we've already passed that you feel like were either hits or misses?
One thing that definitely stands out is lending and synthetics. I haven't spoken about it in a while, but that's something I am uber excited about. That's a big deal, guys. I mean, that's when we really become a bank. That really is the point. So that's definitely what hits home for me, man.
Yeah. So the era of autonomous banking, it's a lot of catchy terminology. So I personally do think that this is a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity, and just emphasizing more kind of like those market dynamics, just the psychology of so many people are just so uninterested in what cryptocurrency is because they've viewed it through this narrow view of, oh, it's a Bitcoin to 20K, get rich quick, Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, shitcoin mess. But the fact that we're staring at these companies like Elrond Network and everybody that's building on top of it, it's like, wow, like this is incredible to see. What I see is a great amount of pressure being built, and just a massive amount of growth opportunities moving forward. From the development technical side of things, there's a lot of things to improve, but naturally as more tools are added to the toolbox, I guess, that user interface that we all love from the Maiar application, all of this stuff is only going to continue to become more bolstered and have that user interface that really just integrates all of this in just an incredible way. I know as Benjamin, CEO, has been talking about X Day, he's building it up as per usual. Hopefully he's learned some lessons through the whole 1 to 2 weeks meme, though I am really excited to see what happens with X Day. It seems like the buzz is going to be saved until then. My guess is that we won't any announcements that we hear between then and now, I will be really surprised about. But it is something to keep in mind, though, that on the xday.com website, along this side here, I think you can still see my screen. We've got all these little time little marks here. So we had the Opera integration was one of these quote unquote Xday unveils, in addition to some other stuff. But yeah, so we've got a lot more announcements that are coming. I'm not expecting much until Xday. So anything that we do here between then and now will be kind of in preparation and will be kind of like added. But I think the big kicker is all of these announcements leading up to X Day will only be as good as what we learn about at X Day. So again, emphasizing, I think it's really important that Elrond team really swings as hard as they can. But they take a solid swing at X Day. You got 3 days. Who knows who's going to be there? Who knows what's going to be discussed? So I'm expecting, and I almost feel like the pressure on Elrond is that they need to hit it out of the park. That's my expectation. As much as I want to try to keep it, level and sound. This is big. Paris, France, 3 days. Got some big names that I'm sure will be there. But yeah, lots to look forward to, I would say.
There's definitely a lot to look forward to, Stephen. As this roadmap unveils and unfurls and becomes everything that it says it is, I think we're hopefully going to see some great growth here, man. I'm definitely excited. Obviously, you're excited, and I hope all of you guys are excited for what's about to come.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Let us know in the comments. I really enjoyed the cadence of this episode, feeling like we had just solid steps that we're taking rather than jumping around and chit-chatting about whatever, which, of course, we all love to do. But, yeah, let us know what you think about that. Check the description for the links to everything. And also, too, reminder that Alec and I adjusted to once every 3 weeks rather than we've been doing once every 2 weeks. So at that point, our next episode should happen before X Day happens. So the 21st of October is about when we'll be shooting our next episode. If that makes you unhappy, if you want to see more podcast Elrond, then go ahead and let us know in the comments. Smash that like button. Let us know that you're here. Otherwise, Alec and I are just going to keep on doing our best to really give you good information that's easy to follow.
Yeah, and please let us know what you think about this new format. We hope we were able to keep it tighter for you all, and at least from my side, I know me and Stephen had discussed this, but so I hope we were able to deliver great information for you guys and not really just kind of lead you on just an entertainment chase. But I hope we gave you some good stuff here today.
Yeah, yeah. I appreciate everything you brought to the table, Alec. INSPIRE.art and that integration with the Opera browser, I think, are two really cool points to hit, especially when we're chilling at the lows of this bear market. I think that at this point, we're going to have a lot more excitement in future conversations. But for now, I think that about wraps it up for episode 16. What do you think?
Yes, sir. It's been a great one, Stephen.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Say hello in the comments, what you like, what you want to see improve, whatever it is, let us know. But we're here, we're excited, we haven't gone anywhere. Exposure remains. Elrond Network. Let's go X Day. All right, man. Thanks again, Alec, for your time. And unless you got anything else, we'll go ahead and see you on the next one.
Peace
Out, everybody.